Have you ever felt like your entire life is just going in the complete opposite direction of where you want it to be? Like no matter how hard you try, the bad news just keeps piling up. We've all hit that wall. But what if I told you that the secret to turning your whole life around isn't about catching a lucky break, but literally just shifting the way you think? Today, I want to share a really inspiring story with you. It might just be the life-changing story you need to flip your perspective forever, showing you how a tiny change in your mindset can bring light into your absolute darkest days. A long time ago, in this super quiet, tiny village, lived an old woman. She was quite old, with shiny silver hair and a face full of gentle, happy wrinkles. But the thing you'd notice first about her were her eyes. They were so bright and just full of kindness. Everyone in the village absolutely loved her. And do you know why? Because she was always happy. Even when her own life was really tough. She lived all by herself in a tiny house. She didn't have any kids, and her husband had passed away many years ago, but she never complained. Instead, she would just sit under that big tree, talk to anyone who walked by, and always wear this warm, comforting smile. Now, life in this village was not easy. People worked crazy hard just to survive. Some were farmers working out in the fields, some were carpenters, and others tried selling vegetables in the dusty little market. Sometimes it just wouldn't rain, and the crops would dry up and die. Other times, people would get sick and couldn't even go to work. The people there were often sad, stressed about their future, and constantly trying to figure out how to stop worrying. One afternoon, a young woman named Radha walked up to the old lady. Radha was literally in tears. You could see the fear all over her face. She sat down and said, "I just don't know what to do anymore. I really don't know what to do during hard times like this. My husband went to the city to find work, but he hasn't sent any money back home. My kids are starving, and I am so scared. What if he can't find a job? What if he just forgets about us and never comes back?" The old lady looked at Radha with those kind eyes and gave her a soft smile. She gently told her to sit down and take a deep breath. She asked Radha, "When you sit here and think all these awful things, how does it actually make you feel?" Radha wiped her tears and said she felt terrible and weak. The old lady nodded. She said, "When we focus on the bad stuff, we literally just make ourselves feel worse. But if we focus on good thoughts, we start to feel better. And sometimes good things actually start happening." Radha was confused. She asked, "But how can I possibly think good thoughts when everything around me is going so wrong?" The old lady smiled again. She knew she had to show her the power of positive thinking. So she told Radha a little story. She said, "Once there was a very poor man who had absolutely nothing. No food, no money, no family. He just sat by the edge of a river and cried all day long. An older woman walked by and asked him why he was crying. The man told her he was crying because he had nothing to be happy about. The woman pointed around him and said, "You have the cool river. You have these tall trees. You have the warm sun on your face. There is beauty and life all around you. If you only look at what you don't have, you are going to be sad forever. If you want to know how to change your life, you have to start by looking at the good things you do have. Only then will you find peace and happiness. The old lady looked back at Radha. She explained that the poor man in the story didn't get rich overnight. There was no magic trick. His life changed simply because he changed his thinking. When our minds are positive, our hearts feel lighter, and we actually find the strength to solve our daily problems. Radha thought about this really deeply. She asked if changing her thoughts would actually change her real life. The old lady told her that if she wakes up every morning and tells herself, "Today is going to be a good day," she will magically find the energy to work, to feed her kids, and to wait for her husband with a heart full of hope. Instead of a heart full of fear, Radha decided right then and there to try it. She wiped her face, thanked the old lady, and walked back home, feeling so much lighter. The next morning, Radha woke up before the sun. Before she let any anxiety enter her mind, she said out loud, "Today is going to be a good day." She went to the well to get water, and instead of crying, she smiled at her neighbors. She put her heart into her chores. Even though they only had a little bit of food, she played with her kids and made them laugh. Day after day, she kept this promise to herself. She lived each day with hope, trusting that good things were coming. Her positive energy made her strong, and her kids felt safe and happy just being around them. Then, one beautiful morning, a letter arrived. It was from her husband. He had finally landed a really good job in the city. It took him a while to get his first paycheck, but he finally sent money back home for her and the kids. He wrote that he loved them and missed them so much. Radha was completely overjoyed. She ran as fast as she could to the old lady's house under the banyan tree. She showed her the letter and the money, but this time she was crying tears of pure happiness. The old lady just smiled her gentle smile. She told Radha that problems will always show up in life, but if we face them with a hopeful heart, we can overcome literally anything. Slowly, the rest of the village heard about Radha. They started coming to the big banyan tree, sharing their own worries, and she gave them all the exact same advice. Think good thoughts, and good will come. That is the true key to success and happiness. Positive thinking, or just our mindset in general, is so incredibly powerful. When we choose to see the good, we give ourselves the strength to survive the bad. I really hope this motivational video brought a little bit of light to your day. If you enjoyed listening and want to hear more stories that touch the heart, please take a second to hit the like button and subscribe. I would absolutely love to have you join our community here on Tales by Arif. Thank you so much for your time. Stay positive, and I will see you in the next story.